the premise? What is the story?
It's a love story. It's a love story.
It's a dream for a girl to grow up and a man falls in love.
I'm really upset that the biggest theme here is that it's anti-men.
Was the historic plots, which actually have meaning to generations of people, to instead become generic woke story about how woman leads revolutionary uprising and she don't need no man.
Things aren't looking good for Rachel Zegler or Disney's Snow White remake. And people are seriously worried. Why are theaters dropping the movie so fast?
And it had the lowest opening, under 50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
You know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
Why did Rachel's video only make things worse? What happened between her and Gal Gadot? A lot of people are now asking, can Disney fix this, or is the damage already done? Well, without any further delay, let's break down everything happening.
Vote for Kamala Harris. And it's actually non-negotiable. Our rights are on the line, folks. Our reproductive rights.
Rachel Zegler, the young actress who plays Snow White in Disney's latest live-action remake, is facing a massive wave of criticism, and things seem to be getting worse by the day. In a now viral video she posted from what looked like her bedroom, Rachel got emotional as she spoke directly to the camera. "I never want people to think I'm ungrateful," she said, clearly upset by the online backlash. She tried to explain how hard she's worked, and even made a comparison that raised a lot of eyebrows. "When I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her," she said, adding, "I hope that even with all my cracks and flaws, people will still line up to see me too." She was hoping to clear the air and speak from the heart. But instead of sympathy, the internet quickly turned on her. TikTok was flooded with sarcastic skits, and hashtags like #snowflop and #RachelZegler were trending on X. Some users mocked her by pretending to be a privileged white guy she might ignore, referring to past clips where Rachel criticized the original Snow White for being outdated. Others dragged up old interviews where she called the 1937 version weird and creepy. Many fans felt disrespected, especially those who grew up loving the classic fairy tale. The online reaction was harsh. According to Angel Fire Analytics, around 68% of comments were negative. One user wrote, "She's acting like she's the victim when people just wanted her to respect the original movie." Another added, "It's not about hate. It's about how she talks down about something that means a lot to people." What was meant to be a touching moment quickly became viral for all the wrong reasons.
Rachel Zegler has not just made these recent comments about Donald Trump, which she's walking back now. She also made some comments earlier while promoting Snow White, saying that Snow White doesn't need a prince.
Snow White, which came out on March 21st, 2025, had a weak opening, bringing in only $43 million in the US and $87.3 million worldwide, with a production cost of at least $250 million, and some insiders saying it might be closer to $270 million, not to mention a massive $180 million spent on marketing. The film needed to earn over $500 million just to break even. That didn't happen. By the second weekend, things had already started to fall apart. Ticket sales in the US dropped 66%, with the film making just $14.2 million, less than a Jason Statham action movie called A Working Man. By March 30th, global earnings only reached $143.1 million, far below what Disney had hoped. For context, even The Little Mermaid remake in 2023 opened to nearly $96 million in the US, and older remakes like Aladdin and The Lion King made over $100 million in just their first weekends. Even Dumbo, which many people called a flop in 2019, made more money than this. As of April's suit, Snow White had only earned $66.9 million in the US and $75.8 million internationally. Deadline reported that Disney could lose around $115 million, even after counting future streaming and merchandise sales. Theaters are also losing confidence in the movie. AMC and Regal started pulling Snow White from their biggest screens just days after its release. Some theaters even stopped showing it completely in the second week. A clip of Rachel Zegler watching her own movie in an almost empty theater went viral on TikTok, with one user commenting, "This is just sad now."
Snow White producer Mark Platt, Jonah Platt is the son's name, he is speaking out publicly against Rachel Zegler and blaming her for the film's catastrophic failure at the box office.
Zegler's time as Snow White was filled with problems before the movie even hit theaters. When she was cast back in 2021, some people were upset because she's Latina, not the traditional image of the fairy tale princess with skin as white as snow. Online hate quickly turned into real-life harassment. Zegler told Cosmopolitan that strangers yelled awful things at her right outside her home. Sadly, she wasn't the first. Halle Bailey, who played Ariel in The Little Mermaid, went through something similar, which shows how some fans still struggle with seeing classic characters played by actors of different backgrounds. Then, things got even more heated when Zegler spoke about the original 1937 Snow White movie. In a 2023 interview, she said the romance in the film was weird and called the prince a stalker. She added, "It's no longer 1937, explaining that her version of Snow White was more about being a leader, not waiting around for a prince." While some appreciated the updated take, many longtime fans were deeply offended. Her comments were clipped and shared all over social media. One user said, "She just doesn't get what made the original special," and others called her out of touch.
I let myself go all the way with the drama and with the character to really celebrate the evil queen.
Co-stars? Sure. Friends? Not even close.
Things really got complicated when political differences between Zegler and her co-star Gal Gadot became public. Zegler shared pro-Palestine messages online during the 2024 conflict, including one post that read, "Always remember, free Palestine." Right after Disney dropped a Snow White trailer, it drew almost 9 million views and a ton of backlash. At the same time, Gadot, who has expressed support for Israel, faced her own wave of threats and reportedly had to get extra security. A source told Variety that Disney was so concerned they sent one of the producers to talk to Zegler about her posts. Things got so tense that at the film's premiere and even at the Oscars, the two stars were kept apart. On social media, people noticed the awkwardness, with one user writing, "Gal looked like she was counting the seconds until it was over." Another issue that got people talking was the film's use of CGI creatures instead of real actors to play the Seven Dwarfs. While Disney made this change to avoid upsetting people with outdated portrayals, especially after actor Peter Dinklage spoke out, many felt it went too far. Critics said it erased opportunities for actors with dwarfism, and the CGI characters were not well received. One review called them cheap-looking and strange. Over on Rotten Tomatoes, critics gave the movie a low 42% score. The audience score was higher, at 74%, but on IMDb, it dropped to just 1.6 out of 10, which many believe was due to review bombing. The Oscars could have been a moment to turn things around. Zegler and Gadot took the stage to present an award, but their body language said it all. Zegler tried to keep things light, but Gadot stayed stiff and quiet. One ex-user joked, "Gadot looked like she wanted to vanish." Rumors started spreading again, and gossip sites claimed that Gadot was frustrated because Zegler's activism hurt the film's image.
Leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
Snow White didn't just disappoint at the box office, it left Disney in a tough spot, and the ripple effects are hitting hard. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not long ago, Disney's live-action remakes were easy wins. Beauty and the Beast made over $1.2 billion. The Lion King pulled in even more. But lately, audiences just aren't showing up the same way. The Little Mermaid barely crossed $560 million. Mufasa, The Lion King did better, around $717 million, but still nowhere near what Disney hoped. Now, with Snow White projected to lose as much as $300 million, it's becoming clear something's not working. Online, things haven't cooled off either.
Does this mean that it's no longer 1937 and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Supporters of Rachel Zegler have rushed to defend her. One user on X said, "She's insanely talented. The hate is just because she's a woman who speaks her mind." But others have been ruthless. A conservative influencer called Zegler box office poison, saying studios won't touch her again. It didn't help when Jonah Platt, the son of the film's producer, posted a now-deleted rant on Instagram. In it, he blamed Zegler for hijacking the story and said she made the movie all about herself. That post got 500,000 views before it was taken down, but not before screenshots spread everywhere. What do you think? Is Rachel Zegler right, or is she completely wrong? Let us know about your views in the comments below. And for more such amazing videos, do subscribe to our channel.